app is an app on your
But
phone.
you have to pay for it, right?
It's like $8 a month.
It's
I ain't got that.
no, it's like you don't have $8.
I have kids. I need this job.
Man, that's bull.
It's 999 yen, which honestly comes out to like $7.
It's like $7 US.
So I don't know. Have you watched some Impact
You get
stuff
the first
lately?
month free.
You know Taiji Ishimori?
Yeah.
He was on loan from Pro Wrestling Noah.
Yeah.
And he was the X Division champion for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Tama Tonga came out during Wrestling Dontaku this weekend, and he revealed the new Bone Soldier.
And everybody was
And-
scared that it was
and-
going to be Captain New Japan being
Because
Bone
Bone Soldier was previously the heel version of Captain New Japan, and Captain New Japan was this crap tier.
He was the greatest pro wrestler
He
of our
was
generation.
a terrible mascot character.
the greatest pro wrestler of our generation.
Prince Devitt, now known as Finn Balor, famously cut a promo where they asked him about Captain New Japan, and he said, and I quote, "Captain fucking New Japan, get the fuck out of here." That's like everybody hated Captain New Japan, but the current Bone Soldier is Taiji Ishimori.
Oh,
He was signed to New
Yeah.
Japan, and I completely forgot. I talked to Will in the car on the way here. I completely forgot that Taiji Ishimori was trained in the New Japan dojo.
You forgot that?
That he was a young boy there.
Yeah,
and then
he was a
went
young
to,
boy.
And then went to Noah after.
Yeah.
So he did this sweet move to Will Ospreay because he's a junior. He's going to be in Best of Super Juniors. He's sort of, you know how the 1916 looks, where you hook the one arm? So he hooked the one arm and lifted him up and dropped him into a code breaker.
Yeah.
And it looked really, really cool.
I need to see that. That sounds
And
really cool.
I was talking to Will. I feel like Tama Tonga being the one to introduce him, because I don't know how many of the listeners are really into New Japan, but like the Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes feud right now, where they're fighting over who's going to be leader of Bullet Club.
Oh,
right?
man, that sounds exciting.
But Tama Tonga is the OG who's been there from day one, who doesn't give a crap about Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes and only cares about the club.
Oh.
Yeah.
And is getting consistently more and more frustrated that they're making it about themselves and not the club.
So you think he's going
Yeah.
to take over the club?
So I'm thinking that
Possibility.
maybe him introducing Taiji as their new like junior ace is a way to like make a power play for himself.
Right.
Or maybe it'll just be like him, Tangaroa, and Taiji just like leave and then
Probably
just do
they probably have
Gorillas of
Fale
Death.
with them though.
and
right?
then just do like God by themselves.
They'd
God,
probably-
by the way, is Gorillas of
yeah,
Destiny.
they would probably
Yeah.
bring Bad Luck Fale with them though, right?
Yeah, probably.
And Bad Luck Fale is going to get his customary couple of really big wins in the G1
Yeah.
because he is a giant, like imposing big man.
Like bigger than Braun?
Put in, I think so, yeah. He's a little
Or
bit bigger.
comparable at least?
Compare, you know, Viscera.
He's a little bit taller.
Yeah.
Remember Viscera? Same body type.
Oh, Jesus.
He's not as thick though.
He's not as thick.
He's not extra thick. He's just
No.
medium thick. Okay.
medium thick.
He's a really big, strong dude who, like, when put in the ring with the right person, does put on really entertaining matches. Like, he beat Okada in the G1, I think the year before last,
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Wow.
and
then-
got a title match out of it. And Okada's title defense against Bad Luck Fale was actually really, really entertaining.
He won the IC belt from.
He was Intercontinental champion for a
from
bit.
Shinsuke, and they had a good match.
I think he won the New Japan Cup one year, and I think he's been a finalist once or twice.
Jeez. So,
Yeah.
accolades.
Fale would be like he's the underboss, right? He's
Yeah.
the OG from day one in Bullet Club. He was Prince Devitt's bodyguard,
Okay.
and part of me wants to see him sign to WWE just so Finn Balor can do his entrance riding on Fale's shoulders again,
Yeah.
because it was awesome.
I never see Fale actually signing just because. Like,
I don't either because he runs his own dojo in New
Yeah,
Zealand.
he
yeah,
runs
he's
his.
bad.
He does his own
he
thing.
runs a school, but so we had that. We had Kushida, who, honest to God, is one of the top 10 workers in the entire world.
I would say top five.
Kushida,
He's so
yeah,
good.
top 5. Kushida is incredible. We were talking on the way here. He's sort of running out of things to do as a junior heavyweight. He's been the ace of the division for so long. But like, we're not sure how he would do heavyweight. But at the same time, like,
I don't see
like,
him doing well.
at the
as
same
a
time, like, I
heavyweight.
would love to see Kushida in the G1, just because it's so many singles matches that we haven't seen yet.
That'd be
With
nice.
a lot of the people in the heavyweight, it's a lot of fresh matchups.
Yeah.
And it'd be really cool to see. Like, G1, like, be prepared because your boy is just dead tired the entire month and a half the G1 runs, because I'm watching like hours upon hours upon hours of wrestling every week.
Yeah.
Like, it's a ton. I even watch the undercard tag matches.
No, I don't watch the undercard.
Because part of why like I watch it is because there's certain things in it, like God, who was it? the year before last, right? The only person who never lost a single tag match through that entire tour was Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
And who won the entire G1 that year?
Yeah, it was Kenny.
It was Kenny Omega. There's people in there who are consistently like pinning champions in multi-tag matches. And then that's one of the ways that you get a title shot in New Japan is you either come out and you declare to the champion that you want to challenge them and they accept you, or you pin them in a non-title multi-man match,
But
and
isn't
that
this
puts
one
you in
where
line for it.
I heard a little bit about this, where the champion actually challenged the challenger to say, "I want you to challenge me."
Yeah,
That happened at Dontaku
Yeah,
this week.
that happened at Dontaku.
Okay, so
It
at
went-
Dominion last year, Kenny Omega, that incredible trilogy that everybody's talked about last year, to where they had the Wrestle Kingdom match, and then at Dominion they had a 60-minute time limit draw. And one of the coolest spots I've ever seen in my life was, the Rainmaker, that wrist lock spin out lariat that Okada has just murdered everyone with.
Yeah, and then Kenny countered with the V-trigger.
Kenny countered it by just collapsing underneath it because they'd been wrestling for an entire hour, basically.
Yeah, I did not like that.
He just like dropped and collapsed and fell on. And Okada put as much stank as he possibly could on it because he was ready to finish it. He launched himself all the way across the ring with how much force he put behind it.
I need to see that.
And like the match was incredible. And so the story they've been telling was, I think in that match, Kenny finally hit the one-winged angel, that electric chair driver that he does, but Okada got his foot on the rope. He never hit it the entire Wrestle Kingdom match, and then he lost. And then he finally hit it, but he got a rope break. And so they fought each other in the G1 Climax that summer, and G1 matches have a 30-minute time limit.
Yep.
So they went to a 60-minute draw 2 months earlier. So the entire story of the match is Kenny has to try to put him down as fast as he possibly can in order to win again.
Is
right?
that the one where he
And so he
used-
did hit the one-winged angel and he beat Okada. But
That's
it's not for the title though.
That's actually my favorite of their 3 matches was the G1 one.
It was
match.
100 miles an hour from bell to bell. It
Yeah,
was
that's why I
incredible.
liked it so
It was
much.
incredible. It was nonstop action the entire time.
The first Wrestle
But-
Kingdom match was good.
It was really, really good. Yeah.
It was really good, but like it was too slow of a start. The second match was good, but I don't know, it was just missing something for me. But then the G1 one, that was the one where
The G1 was fantastic.
I really thought it was their I didn't think it was the best match in the G1 climax that year. I thought the
Right.
best match was Naito versus Ibushi on night 1. I thought that was
That
the
match was
absolute-
incredible. That match was
the
up there.
Absolute best.
That
match.
one was incredible, and Naito versus Kenny Omega in the finals was really, really good.
That was a really good one too. But like Naito and Ibushi just had this like great coming home party for Ibushi.
For Ibushi, yeah.
Yeah, where it was
Like Ibushi lost,
and
and
you
to the
really
eventual winner,
believed-
Naito,
yeah.
and it put him over like nothing else could have. Like
Yeah.
he looked like $1 million after that. But what you were saying about like, oh, he comes out and he challenges the challenger. So Okada came out and he was running through the list of all the people that he's beaten. He's beaten the scariest man on the planet, Minoru Suzuki.
Yep.
Okay.
And he's
I know that name.
beaten Tanahashi now, and he's beaten Tetsuya Naito, and he's beaten Kenny Omega, and he's beaten Zack Sabre Jr., and he's beat Katsuyori Shibata last year. And he's beaten all of these like incredibly high level people, right? And then he kind of stops and he goes, but we're wrestling in Osaka Joe Hall next month, right? And the last time I wrestled there was a draw. One of those defenses was a draw. That's not acceptable. I have to beat you and prove that I could beat you more than just once.
Yeah.
So he calls out Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega comes out and he proposes to Kenny. He says, how about we do it again, but this time with no time limit?
Yeah.
And Kenny says, great, do you one better. No time limit, 2 out of 3 falls. So
Yeah.
that match is going to be incredible.
The match will be good.
It's going to be amazing.
I just really hope it doesn't go like an hour and 20 minutes.
You know
I
it's
don't-
gonna go like 2 hours.
Okada,
I swear to God.
Okada did defend against Hiroshi Tanahashi, ace of the universe, once in a century talent.
Yeah. yeah.
And that match was good because it had to be, because Tanahashi is, if you made a Mount Rushmore of wrestling, I don't care what countries you're including, Tanahashi is on it. Tanahashi is incredible. He pulled that company almost single-handedly out of a terrible dark age in the mid-2000s.
I don't.
Like, they were in danger of going under.
Oh,
And
geez,
the
so
sheer,
Impact
the
was
sheer
going
star power of Tanahashi kept them afloat for a while.
I don't know if I would put Tanahashi on the Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling. I think it would go like.
For me personally, Tanahashi.
Okay.
like,
Okay. Yeah. Personal.
is one of them. But so they had that match and it was incredible. I thought it was the second best match on the card because I thought the best match from Dantaku was Kushida versus Will Ospreay for the junior heavyweight title.
We talked about this,
fun.
That match was stiff, and so was I. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Okay,
There
so
we go.
that match was amazing. They did this crazy thing where at Sakura Genesis last month with Marty Skrull and Will Ospreay, Will did a Spanish fly, like the
And he
grabbed him
landed
and
on his
backflipped
neck.
on the apron and landed on his neck, and it was horrifying. Like it
Yeah.
looked, it was. I was afraid. I was genuinely afraid for him. I thought he got hurt.
Will came out with the tape on and everything.
He made like he was gonna do it again, right? But Kushida caught him. Will hit a bicycle kick on Kushida and knocked him off the apron.
Yep.
Kushida rolled forward, jumped, grabbed him, DDT'd him from the apron to the floor. And it was the smoothest, nastiest looking thing I've seen in a really long time. It was incredible. Like
Everything I see from New Japan is always this most hard-hitting, acrobatic stuff. And then I watch WWE, and I'm like, this just feels like old man wrestling. It's so different.
we talk a lot about Tomohiro Ishii, and Ishii is one of the most underrated people on the planet. Ishii does not know how to have a bad match. He just doesn't. And one of my favorite things that, like, I know, like, I watch wrestling. Obviously, I'm into the storytelling of it. I get kind of frustrated when a guy's reaction to a kick out from a big move is to just like crawl to the corner and make big eyes and make a surprised face. It's like, no, dude, kick his ass. You're almost there. It was 2.9.
Yeah,
that was good.
I'm like,
for
hit him again.
Yeah, and
That
then
was
Ishii
so, like-
actually does hit him again.
Ishii, one of my favorite things that he does, and he's done it a couple of times in matches, is he hits this disgusting lariat, just like takes the guy's head off. And the guy will like fighting spirit kick out at one, right? Just to screw you to Ishii, right? So the guy's like sitting down. Ishii hits the ropes, hits a sliding one, just rips his head off again. Gets a 2. Ishii gets up, smiles, hits his brainbuster, gets the 3.
Yeah.
Because he's building him.
Because he's building his momentum and he's
Mm-hmm.
wearing him down, and he knows exactly what he has to do to take the guy out. And
It's
I
like-
love that.
Like 1, okay, I got you to 1. Oh, I got you to
love
2.
that. Yes.
Goodbye.
He's like, I got you to 2. Now I know what to do.
Mhm.
And I didn't mean to rhyme that. But,
No, it's good. It's
but
good.
like, yeah, the storytelling is just fantastic in that. We talked about the fact that Okada was probably going to defend against Tanahashi last time I was on.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I had said something to the effect of, I don't think that in any singles match setting outside of maybe a G1 that Okada should ever lose to Tanahashi again. Because it kind of defeats the purpose of their whole 3-year story of him finally overcoming, the ace to become the new one.
Yeah, I agreed with you on this. You shouldn't put over the old guard rather than the new guard.
Right.
It's
But
just
I mean, if
general
anybody
common
was
sense.
going to be accepted
yeah.
by the fans for that, probably would have been Tanahashi. Like everyone wants Naito.
Everyone wants Naito.
Like people
it
are
should have
rabid
been
for
Naito.
people
at
are
Wrestle
rabid
Kingdom.
for Naito, and I completely understand why. But I feel like if it wasn't going to be Naito, people would have accepted Tanahashi, but that kind of would have killed 3 years worth of storytelling. So I'm glad they didn't do that. I am kind of the opinion that it's either going to be Naito far down the road that takes the championship from Okada, or Kenny Omega might do it.
I think Omega should win, and if Omega doesn't win, I think I'm done with New Japan for a while.
I think that Ibushi will be a title defense for him.
Yeah, I think Ibushi
For Okada? Okada is, because he did it as Tiger Mask,
I think
but
they.
as Kota Ibushi, he hasn't defended against Ibushi yet. Like Okada hasn't wrestled Kota Ibushi for it.
I think they need to do Omega wins the belt, and he finally has something over Kota, because that's always been like the underlying
that is-
storyline.
I think that's how
Of
they're going to
the
break up the
Golden-
That's going to
Yeah.
break up the Golden Lovers
That's
because
always been the
Yeah.
underlying storyline. Is
Mhm.
Kenny's never been over Kota.
Kenny.
before.
The whole reason Kenny became the cleaner and joined the Bullet Club was
Was
to get out of the shadow of
Yeah,
Kota
Kota.
Ibushi.
That I know.
Because
and then once he finally
in DDT when they
gets-
teamed together, like
Mhm.
there is only one kick out ever from the One-Winged Angel in any company.
Yeah.
There's only one time anyone has
It was
ever
from
kicked out of the
Kota.
One-Winged
Yeah,
Angel.
from Kota.
And at Peter Pan, the biggest show of the year in DDT, and I think it was 2012.
It was
2012 or 2014?
2011.
2011? So Kota kicked out of it
Mm-hmm.
and beat Kenny. And Kenny was just devastated because this is his partner and his best friend, and he's being left in the dust of his best friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his genius of a best
He
friend, where
can't-
he's the hard worker.
He
Yeah.
can't keep up with him no matter how hard he tries. And it breaks his heart because it's his favorite person, and they do everything together, and he just can't keep up with him.
And that's why he went to the Bullet Club.
And that's why
Yep.
he turned bad and surrounded himself with people that would help him and have his back and push him to that level. now that he's there, I feel like one of the things that's going to put them over is, one, Kota is visibly frustrated. He doesn't want to be part of the Bullet Club drama at all.
Yeah.
He only cares about Kenny, and he kind of likes Chase Owens and Yujiro because they're nice to him.
Yeah.
And they team together and everything.
Yep.
But all he really cares about is that him and Kenny are best friends again.
Yep, which is
and
what
they're
they always
together.
wanted.
And he's frustrated because the Bullet Club are all fighting, and he's getting dragged into a fight that's not his.
Yeah, exactly. He's
and
caught in this.
if you add to that, if Kenny wins the heavyweight title, he's finally gonna have one over on
Kota.
Ibushi, just like Will said.
And then
I feel like that might finally drive Kota to the point of being frustrated enough that he challenges Kenny for that belt.
And I think you can do that match at Wrestle Kingdom.
That's a
feel
Wrestle
like,
Kingdom style, man.
I feel
think
like
that
you
you
could do
would-
Wrestle
yeah,
Kingdom. You
that
could
would
do
do
Kota
numbers.
winning the G1 because Kota's never won the big one in New Japan. That's
He is-
another
that was
underlying
an-
story.
That
is
was
that
another thing that Kenny finally had a one-up on Kota
Is
because
that-
Kenny finally won the G1.
With his move, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Didn't he
with
use,
the Golden
Kota's
Star
move?
So
powerbomb.
in his finals match with Hiroki Goto that year,
Yep.
he
He
hit
uses
he hit the Bloody Sunday, which was the first leader of Bullet Club's move.
you know,
Prince Devitt.
right?
Then he hit the Styles Clash, which
Yep.
was AJ Styles' move. Then he did the Last Ride Powerbomb and the Phoenix Splash, which are both Kota Ibushi moves. And then he finally put down Goto with his own, with the One Wing Angel. And the whole story behind that is like, as long as he's in the shadow of these other men and trying to follow their example, he couldn't be the best Kenny Omega that he could be.
And that's why
Yeah.
he won with his move.
Yes.
There you go.
And he finally has that up on Kota, and I feel like Kota eventually will get frustrated. And they're gonna have a match, and somebody might actually die.
You see, I love
Because
I
if you
love
saw the
Golden
Peter
Lover
Pan
Star,
match,
man.
the Peter Pan match had one of the most ridiculous spots I've ever seen in my life. So
You talking about the opening one where they both
when Kenny ran up the turnbuckle and did a Frankensteiner from the top rope to the floor on Kenny
Yeah.
Omega, he attempted a murder. Yeah. On his best friend, like terrifying. That match, like someone will probably get injured if that match
Is it
happens.
still murder if you're also attempting suicide?
I mean, I don't
Yes.
think that was his
Murder suicide is a charge. Is a
Manslaughter?
thing. Is a term. Yes.
Manslaughter. All right, you guys. So we're going to
Now that we've gushed about Japanese wrestling for a little bit,
we're going
No,
to
that's fine. I enjoy it.
we're going to go on a nice 15-minute break for you guys. We're come back and we'll go through the Backlash card
we
and
absolutely
our
will. Yes.
thoughts
And then-
and predictions on it.